Head have finally done it. They have honoured the most successful tennis player of all time with a signature speed legend. Like the Pro stuff RF, like the Rafa Origin, Head have finally given Novak Djokovic a fully formed signature racket. This is Novak's specs. This is exactly the racket he's played with, the same swing weight, the same weight. Everything is absolutely Novak. Isn't that right?
No.
What?
Sorry to say, Joe. It's not.
What is it then?
It's a brand new Head Speed Pro black.
It's just a Speed Pro?
Yep, just a Speed Pro. All it is paint.
Well, what a
Disappointing, isn't it?
Very disappointing. Novak says, be in the present moment. Well, in the present moment, I'm very disappointed.
You were really hoping for a 95 square inch, 360 gram racket, were you?
Yeah.
You think they're going to sell that?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Well,
they're not. What is different then? The paint.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the old version.
Yeah.
The old Speed Pro black. This is the Speed Pro Legend. It's just a name change and, and a refresh on the paint. It does look better. Yeah, it does. It does look better rather than that sort of dark. I think it's an anthracite grey. You've now got black throughout on the Speed Legend. You've got rid of the gold on the sides. Didn't much like the gold, did we? Didn't care for the gold. No. What you do have, if you care for that sort of thing, is Novak's little logo. Yeah. Instead of the Head logo. So if you are a Novak super fan, this is the one. Are you going to read his quote for everyone? I am blessed to be here. Be in the present moment. Forget about the past. It's gone. Take the means in your hands. Believe it. Create it. The Head Speed Pro. Yeah. The racket is obviously closer to the newest Speed Pro. It is exactly the same as the Speed Pro because it's got the Auxetic 2.0 and the cosmetic is similar to the old black Novak one. Other than that, it's a Speed Pro. Hope you've enjoyed our review on it already previously because it's the same racket. And if you haven't, you're about to watch it again anyway. Yes. So here we go. Cut to the past? Yeah, cut to the past. What do you think about the Pro? The Head Speed Pro is my favourite of the three tested today, and I think it's the best racket because I think that it harnesses two things. With the Speed, you're encouraged to swing big, to whip the racket around, and I think what you get with the denser string bed and the extra weight is just more control, especially as that weight is shifted down towards the handle. The balance point is slightly different. So I think that for me anyway, when I'm swinging big, because that's how the racket works best, or I'm moving the racket around a lot, should we say, because the racket works best that way, having that extra control works for me because I'm able to control it a little bit more. And I feel like with the MP, I lose control a little bit, whereas this keeps the ball in the court for me. So now over to Josh for a quick science lesson about swing weight.
So the MPL has a swing weight of 313 grams, which is quite high considering the actual racket weight is 280, and that shows the head heaviness and why, as the racket head comes through, it's really fun, and if you get it going, you can actually generate a lot of pace. The interesting bit comes between the MP and the Pro. Obviously, only 10 grams difference in weight, but in swing weight, just a 3 grams difference. So the Pro is 333, whereas the MP is 330 grams. And that basically is showing the balance point and the weight shifting towards the handle, which is why Joe is feeling like you're getting more control with the Pro. Because the racket's not scooting away from me. Because the racket is not the top of the racket isn't kind of pulling you through. It's a more player's frame that requires the player to do the work. You can't just be lazy and throw your hands through it, a la Ben on the end, which is why he likes the MP. So this is essentially comes to my problem with the Pro, is I wish they made the swing weight 345. Like if they've left the balance the same, that's the problem. It kind of just sucks some of the fun out of it by bringing it back. Like essentially, it's just a denser string bed in a heavier racket. Like, leave it 16-19, shift the weight back up again, and you'd have a real fun. Yeah, so I suppose in that sense, it kind of stands out of the range slightly. Yes. Maybe it doesn't because of that shift. And I think you often get that with the Pros or the Tours. Yes. Is that they seem like they kind of start being their own thing. I think instead of comparing the Speed Pro against the Speed MP and Speed MPL, we shall also be comparing the Speed Pro versus the Extreme Pro and the Radical Pro and the Gravity Pro, because those are really... Video coming soon. Onto the MP, the sort of
bang in the middle, probably the most popular racket in the range.
I think it is one of the better selling rackets in the UK for sure.
Do you know why that is?
Because it's your racket.
It's endorsed by this guy. The Speed MP, I've used it for about 5-6 years now, at least the last 2 generations, and have nothing negative to say about it, including this one.
Nothing negative to say about it?
Oh, I've got negative things to say about it.
This is handy that we're all 3 of us here, because if this was just me doing this review, I'd be saying it is perfectly balanced, it's really easy to use, you get loads of spin, enough control, I think it looks great, it plays great, it's easy to serve with, it's got a good feel, feels really nice, absolutely perfect.
When did you get your backhander from?
So I don't necessarily disagree, but for me it just doesn't suit the way that I play. I always felt with the speed range, and the MP is the one that I've played with the most, is that I have to work really hard. I have to throw the racket around a lot more than I'm used to. So with the MP 1619, playing with it today, I find it difficult to control the ball. I find it difficult to be consistent, or being consistent is a terrible phrase. I find it difficult to keep the ball in the court in the way that I want to. Whereas when we get to it and talk about the Pro, that's when I felt that the speed really worked for me.
I think you're almost right.
Thank you. Thank you. So generous.
In that it does have control if you play in a way that allows it to control.
Yes.
So if you have high racket speed, if you have a long swing, then you end up feeling like Ben feels and thinks it's amazing. And I think really it's the difference between attacking and defending. And if you're not necessarily tactically, but in your technique, if you have an attacking technique in that you go for the ball and you try and accelerate the ball all the time, it's great. If you have a slightly more passive technique and you want to use opponents' pace against them, punches, pushes, blocks, it doesn't have the playability, and any kind of off-centre hits on those sort of defensive ones feel not good at all in comparison to something like a boom within the head range.
So, interestingly then, you just need to make sure you don't have any off-centre hits.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Get the ball out in the middle of the racket and it feels really good.
It almost plays like a 98.
Yeah, it does.
Despite being 100.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was right, because you said on how you play, and obviously I play in a certain way, so my reflections on my own play and my feeling about the racket was 100% correct. You could argue.
You could also argue that you didn't open up with saying for you were just saying the racket.
Well, I think we'll check the tape, but I think 100% said for me.
We're going to go to the tape.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the thing with the MP, the thing with rackets in general, is bizarrely, based on our personalities, it's kind of we play oppositely, right? So I really, really love a fun racket, and this to me is a fun racket. Whereas it seems that the Pro, well, no, we'll get to that in a moment, but I don't like it because it's a bit too serious. And I feel that you two like it more because it's a bit more serious.
No, I prefer the MP to the Pro.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
think the Pro's a better racket.
I don't
say this in every video now.
I don't
my catchphrase.
I don't find the speed that fun, because it feels like a big departure from the way that I'm used to playing. So I feel like I'm thinking about that more, and then the racket is affecting my game in a way that isn't necessarily beneficial to me. Yeah, I'm in my own head, exactly. But yeah, it is still fantastic, and it is better than the previous version.
It's exactly like Action Man.
As always, subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and you'll never miss a thing from PH Tennis.